Hey everyone, how's it going? Daryl here. Today I'm going to be reviewing this BO-IR4 Mini Uplight. And I think these uplights are awesome, and I sold all of the other uplights in my DJ company to replace them with these guys. I only have a few of these left, and I'm finalizing the sale with another DJ company tomorrow, so I'm making the video today. So to give the full context of why I embraced these mini uplights, I have to tell you about like my normal uplights and do a little comparison. So buying uplighting is probably one of the first big gear purchases I made for my DJ business, and I feel like it's been one of the best returns on investment because great lighting helps create an immersive experience for our clients, and these things have just paid for themselves over and over and over again. And I did have like some normal PARs that required like the plug-in DMX in the back and to plug it into the wall. And I found that those were really hard to place around the room because you're at the mercy of extension cords or where the outlets are. And they were like more trouble than it was worth. And so I made the investment for these, and the ease of use just made it so easy. It made me actually want to use them because they're battery operated, and the battery lasted like the duration of most of my events, and it has wireless DMX. So I just have to transmit a signal and I don't have to connect any cables to it. So basically I just turn it on, put it where I want, and then that's it. So these things have really changed the way I did my business. But after a while, I started being a little discontent with these lights. As you can see, compared to this one is much bigger. It's more than twice the volume. And lots of times we're at these venues and they have like furniture up against the walls. And so sometimes these wouldn't fit, or sometimes this would be like an awkward spot, like by the buffet line, and people would kick them because they're so big. And you know, by themselves, it's not really that heavy. But when you have a case of 10 of these, it becomes really bulky and really heavy.
I found myself leaving uplights at home and prioritizing ease of setup rather than uplighting coverage.
So that was basically where I was before I discovered these mini uplights.
The first mini uplight I encountered was the Ape Lab Maxi. I was helping another DJ when I first saw them. I was impressed with how small they were, and I couldn't believe how bright they were for this size. But as a DMX lover, I wasn't wanting to pay the premium price for the music mode.
But then when both uplighting released the first version of this, the RF4, I was not that interested because you only had one DMX channel available, and I like to run chases, and yeah, so I didn't really pay too much attention to that. But Both Lighting is a really cool company. They listen to their customers and they put a lot of features in this. Like Rick Webb calls it this RF Mark II. This is the upgraded version, and that is really cool. And I saw them and I immediately was intrigued by the size because yeah, looking at the two, this one is significantly smaller. It is just so much more compact, but will it be able to perform the same job as my normal uplight? So my main concern was battery life. I wanted to make sure that this would last like the entire gig. And I get that it's smaller. It features 4 12-watt LEDs opposed to 6 18-watt LEDs. So I wouldn't need as big of a battery. So it's using less power, so it needs less power, so it might be able to last the same amount as this. And I was also worried about brightness. I feel like with these guys, I wasn't so worried about like the level of brightness. I was more wanting more like color in different areas rather than brighter hot spots in like fewer areas. I remember I did 30 of these in a ballroom and I felt like it was too bright. There was just too much color. But I wanted to highlight all the important things in the ballroom, so I was actually wanting something a little bit less bright. So I'm going to do a bit of a test a little bit later. So Both Lighting gives you a manual and it shows you like the battery life of these guys, and they did lots of extensive testing. And Rick Webb, in his review of them, he also does some extensive testing, so I'm not going to do that here. We're going to do more of a visual test. And I've been able to use these at a few gigs now, and I'm gonna say that these gigs were long. They were 8 hours or more, and these lasted. Now these lights are legit in that area. And as far as compactness, yeah, these are everything I ever hoped for and dreamed in a light. They are so lightweight. You can fit so many more of them in a smaller space. And that is awesome, and that just makes it so much easier for me to take these to a gig and actually use them. I'm not dreading to roll out all of my cases and have to like move a case to get to the one underneath. This will just be so much easier. I'm so excited to use these for the rest of the wedding season, and I know that other people have been selling all their uplights for probably the same reason as me.
I kind of buried the lead with this one, but they are so affordable. The prices start at $6.91 for 8 of them. I have a link in the description below, and clicking that and ordering it helps support this channel. Let's go ahead and unbox this light. So here we go. Here is a 4-pack with this nice padded bag. I chose these over the cases because I plan on using a Pelican case. Let's go ahead and open this and see what's inside. A manual, some chargers, some remote controls, some magnet mounts, our uplight.
So let's go over the specs of this light. And it weighs just 1 kilogram, so about 2 pounds. And it is 150 millimeters across and wide and 60 millimeters tall. And the whole light feels really durable. It's made out of stainless steel. On top, you have like 4 12-watt LEDs, and it's like very shiny. And on the bottom, you have like these nice rubber feet, and you can put your own company logo sticker there. I just did that myself. And on the sides, it has this nice bracket. You can like tilt it, and then you can like attach your own mounting hardware. Something to note is that there's just not a lot of clearance right here, so you're probably not going to be able to store this upright with mounting hardware attached, which I know I like to do sometimes. Or you're just going to have to take it on and off every single time. It can sit on this bracket, and this is basically like how you store it.
And this is what it looks like with the magnet mount attached, and it is extremely strong. The magnet is very powerful, and you could potentially store it like this with the bracket upright.
All right, and so this is like how you control it. It has like this button to turn it on and off, and when you push it, it stays indented, so that's really nice. This is where you charge it, and the output says it's 2 amps each, so that's pretty easy. You just like plug that in. It's pretty easy to just plug in and unplug it. And it has this 4-button LCD screen display that we are very familiar with. And it has like this spot for the IR remote to send commands to it. Now let me just go over the various modes and just know that you can activate most of these modes with like the provided remote control. I'm just gonna say this is probably one of the most intuitive remote controls I've ever seen for an LED fixture. So you can see here it has like the strobe, the auto mode, fade, pulse, slave. You can change the speed, you can change the colors, you can do the sound active mode. So this is a really cool remote control that you'd expect to see with a more expensive fixture. And so here it has like a battery indicator. So you can see it has 1 bar. That means it has like a 1/4 battery left or less. My bad for not charging it. So there's no labels to these buttons, but this is a very similar interface to like other uplights. So you click this menu button, you can choose like a DMX address, you can choose a 6-channel mode or a 10-channel mode. Is just about the same, except you have some built-in macros that you can leverage via DMX. You can choose like a static color. It's like 32 different colors. And so then you can do like a strobe and static mode, which I don't know why anyone would do, but you can do it. So I want to turn off that strobe. And so you can do something called a color jump, and it goes from speeds of 1 to 9. So that's where it just changes color at a fixed interval. So you can like choose the fade. There's a couple different styles like this where it just like fades from color to color. And you can choose this one where it kind of like pulsates, almost like a sound switch pulse, but not. Let's do the first one. And then you can choose like the speed of that. I feel like that's too crazy. This is the kind of fade I'd want for like a slow dance song. And so there's a sound active mode. So it's pretty cool. And it looks like there's different modes of sound active mode. So some are a little bit more blinky, some are a little bit more fadey, some are a little bit more colors are on all the time. So yeah, you can play around with that, but it's cool to know that it's there. And you can choose the speed of it as well. You can control this with an app. You can choose like a static color, so you can set the RGB values manually like this.
It has 32 built-in preset colors, but perhaps you want a little bit more fine control.
And there's master slave mode. You can turn the IR remote on and off. And you can do master slave mode, like this one's the master, this one is the slave, then it's listening. You can have them all do the same things. So what's really cool about this IR remote is that you can just control like your master with it, and then it will sync up with all the rest of them. So you can see I'm pushing buttons and things are happening. So yeah, really cool functionality. So yeah, you really don't need to control these with DMX to have great results. And the big question I hear people ask is, can you put more than just 4? So you can put 5 comfortably, but then, so you can see here, there really is not room for 6. And don't take my word for it. You really can't fit it in there. It just doesn't fit. All right, so this is the carrying case I use, this Pelican case. It's the 1615. It comes with like wheels and is really convenient to use. You can use this as a suitcase. And I'm able to put 20 uplights in this. So this is like smaller, more compact and lighter than my old case of 10, but I can fit 20 in like less space. So that is really cool. So this makes transporting them a dream. I mean, for a lot of gigs, you only need like 20 or even less than 20. So just one case being able to take this many uplights is really powerful in my opinion. This doesn't make the best charging experience, but I don't feel like the charging case is also the best charging experience. And they recommend that you keep the lid open anyways. So what I've come up with using like a 12 plug outlet and just plugging in like 10 at a time, because that's how fires get started, is when you overload your circuit. So most outlets can handle like 15 to 20 amps. And so having 10 of these is kind of like pushing it. So I'm using this Amazon Basics 12 outlet power outlet. And I charged 10 at a time. I've tried other ones, but they were just so close together and it just didn't work. These wall cable things are really big, bigger than you'd expect.
Okay, so I've shown you what these look like in my garage. Now let me show you what these look like in the real world at gigs.
So these mini uplights from both are truly a game changer. And it's no wonder that other DJs are doing the same thing as I did and selling all of their normal uplights to get these. I mean, the functionality is amazing. The capabilities are similar, if not better, than other uplights. The sleek profile is just so much nicer to like store, carry, and deploy. And it's really hard to go wrong with the price. I got like 40 of these for under $3,000. And I mean, that is truly incredible because I spent more than that for my other uplights for fewer. So yeah, I have links in the description below, the version with cases and the version with soft shell bags. So click those links, help support this channel. And like always, please smash like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.